Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Amrita Devi Foundation talk show, Stories That Matter. I am Mayank, your host, and today's topic is Measuring CSR Beyond Numbers Towards Real Impact. To start with, I would request Ms. Archana to show us the ADF video, please. Ms. Archana.
उत्तराखंड वह भूमि है जहां पर शास्त्रों और वेदों की रचना की गई थी और महाकाव्य महाभारत लिखा गया था। प्रकृति ने अपार सौंदर्य से नवाजा है उत्तराखंड को, जहां एक तरफ हम पलायन जैसे विषयों पर खेत जताने के अलावा कुछ विशेष नहीं करते, वहीं दूसरी तरफ आज भी महिलाएं पहाड़ों में शिक्षा और रोजगार से वंचित हैं। ऐसे में एक संस्था है जो इन महिलाओं की शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में काम कर रही है और साथ में पर्यावरण के संरक्षण और सामुदायिक विकास के लिए भी लगातार प्रयास कर रही है।
मेरा नाम गोविंद सिंह नेगी है और मैं अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन का फाउंडर और ट्रस्टी हूँ। मैं अल्मोड़ा जिले के एक छोटे से गांव घुघुती का रहने वाला हूँ। बहुत वर्षों पहले हमारा पूरा परिवार घुघुती गांव से दिल्ली की तरफ पलायन कर गया, बट मेरा जुड़ाव हमेशा अपनी मातृभूमि के साथ रहा। मैं कई बार अपनी मातृभूमि अल्मोड़ा में और गांव में विजिट करता था और उस विजिट के दौरान मुझे रियलाइज़ हुआ कि यहाँ पे स्पेशली हमारी लड़कियों और महिलाओं के लिए शिक्षा और रोजगार की जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं वो बहुत कम है और मैं उनके लिए कुछ करना चाहता था। इस तरह से शुरुआत हुई अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन की।
अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन के ट्रेनिंग सेंटर्स अल्मोड़ा जिले में पड़थोला, हरड़ा, घुघुती, मानीला, सिनार और भिकियासेन गांव में है। इन सेंटर्स में महिलाओं को कंप्यूटर, सिलाई कढ़ाई जैसे कोर्सेज में प्रशिक्षित किया जाता है और इसके साथ साथ इनको पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट की ट्रेनिंग भी दी जाती है ताकि ये महिलाएं आत्मविश्वास से अपनी बात किसी के समक्ष रख सकें। अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन अपने निरंतर प्रयास से अभी तक सैकड़ों से भी अधिक महिलाओं को शिक्षित कर चुकी है और उनमें से अधिकतर महिलाएं आज आत्मनिर्भर हैं और आज वे अपने परिवार की आर्थिक सहायता कर पा रही हैं।
मेरा नाम दीपाली है। मैं उत्तराखंड के अल्मोड़ा ज़िले से हूँ और मैंने अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन से डिजिटल मार्केटिंग का कोर्स किया है और मैं एक यूट्यूबर भी हूँ। मेरे चैनल का नाम है मी पहाड़ी। तो मैंने पहले बेसिक कोर्स किया अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन से, तो उसके बाद मुझे डिजिटल मार्केटिंग कोर्स के बारे में पता चला। मैंने उसमें एनरोल किया और मैंने ऑनलाइन डिजिटल मार्केटिंग का कोर्स किया, जिसके बाद कि मुझे बहुत सारी चीज़ें पता चली, जैसे कि वीडियो एडिटिंग एंड थंबनेल बनाना और भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें। तो मैं अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन का धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ।
कहते हैं कि किसी भी कार्य को शुरू करना बहुत आसान होता है और उस दिशा में निरंतर कार्य करना मुश्किल, लेकिन अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन की टीम ने अपनी लगातार मेहनत से ये साबित किया है कि किसी भी सपने को साकार करने के लिए अगर प्रयास किए जाएं तो वे सफल होते हैं। अगर आप भी अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन से जुड़ना चाहते हैं और समाज की बेहतरी की तरफ एक कदम बढ़ाना चाहते हैं तो आप नीचे लिखे ईमेल के जरिए हमें संपर्क कर सकते हैं। आप हमारे साथ फेसबुक, इंस्टाग्राम, लिंक्डइन, यूट्यूब पेज से भी जुड़ सकते हैं। अगर अपनी कमाई का आप कुछ हिस्सा उत्तराखंड की महिलाओं की शिक्षा के लिए देना चाहते हैं तो नीचे लिखे नंबर पर पेटीएम कर सकते हैं। अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन में हम लड़कियों व महिलाओं को स्वावलंबी और आत्मनिर्भर बनाने पे निरंतर काम करते आ रहे हैं। इसी के साथ हम पर्यावरण संरक्षण के लिए सक्रिय रूप से कदम उठा रहे हैं। ये प्रयास हमारी विंग अमृता देवी अर्थ केयर के अंतर्गत किए जा रहे हैं। इस विंग में हम वनीकरण पे काम करते हैं। स्थानीय समुदायों के साथ जुड़कर हम ऐसे पेड़ लगाते हैं जो फल और ईंधन लकड़ी का उत्पादन करते हैं। इन प्रयासों से कुछ स्थानीय ग्रामीणों को पेड़ लगाने, उगाने और उनकी देखभाल करने के लिए नौकरी के अवसर भी प्रदान किए जाते हैं। हमारी परियोजना के दूसरे चरण में ऊर्जा कुशल लकड़ी के चूल्हे ग्रामीणों को निःशुल्क उपलब्ध कराए जाते हैं। ये चूल्हे न सिर्फ खाना पकाने का एक स्वस्थ विकल्प है, अपितु ये पर्यावरण की सुरक्षा के लिए भी एक उचित कदम है। तो आइए बढ़ाइए एक कदम उत्तराखंड के अच्छे भविष्य की ओर और बनिए हिस्सा अमृता देवी फाउंडेशन का। लेट्स बिल्ड उत्तराखंड टुगेदर। उत्तराखंड।
Thank you, Ms. Archana. Right. So today, our special guest is Mr. Dharmendra Negi, who is presently contributing as CHRO with Svam Group and also brings years of experience in designing and accessing CSR interventions that truly move the needle. Welcome to the show, Mr. Negi.
Thank you. Thanks, Mayank.
Great to have you here, sir.
My pleasure.
Right. Let's begin the conversation. So in today's world, organizations are increasingly aware that corporate social responsibility isn't just about compliance or charity. It's about creating sustainable, measurable, and meaningful change that we all want. Yet one question remains: how, as the other parts of an organization, how do we measure the real impact beyond the impressive numbers and glossy reports? How do we know that lives are being transformed, mindsets are evolving, and of course the communities are being self-reliant? So let's take the first question with Mr. Negi. Mr. Negi, CSR reports are often filled with statistics, a lot of graphs, data, but what truly defines the impact that beyond the numbers, as per you?
Right. So, Mayank, I was going through the video and somewhere it was mentioned that stories will tell you, So maybe, whatever money we spend, whatever efforts we do, or whatever, statistics we show, but at the end of the day, the stories matter, the impact on these community. So if you look at numbers can tell you what we did, and but it is the stories, and the outcome and the impact will show the true, it truly matters, whatever we have when you do the reviews, after you are done with the CSR. I think that matters a lot in my view. And your question was on how do we measure? I think measurement is required, yes, because without measurement we cannot continue our journey. So if you see, the measurement can be done through evaluating sustainability of the projects, measuring systematic changes, whatever are happening. We can also look at measuring by engaging the communities, asking the beneficiaries how their lives are impacted. So I think these are the things, and we can also see from the change in behavior. When you do some projects, it depends what kind of projects we are running under CSR. But if it adds value, maybe on the empowerment side, maybe on sustainability side, maybe on changing the behavior. So I think all these matters a lot at the end of the day. Sorry, I'm down with some fever. Yeah, sorry.
No problem, sir. I just wish
you can ask me anything. Maybe I might have missed some questions, so some of your points. So you can, yes, please.
No problem at all, sir. The good part is, sir, that I have not, I was about to touch that question regarding the measurable things, but you've already answered that on your own. So thank you so much for that. My question was actually, in what ways we can, the CSR success can be measured through qualitative indicators like behavioral change, empowerment, or maybe long-term sustainability rather than short-term outputs. And of course, you've already answered that. Of course, we can engage the communities, we can see the change in behavior. So these things can be taken care of. So thank you so much, sir. So moving on to the next question. How important is feedback from beneficiaries in evaluating the success of CSR projects? And what are the effective ways to collect and interpret that data?
Right. So I think your question is how we can... sorry, I just missed that first line.
No problem. I'll just repeat my question. The question is that how important is the feedback from beneficiaries, the people whom we are serving, in evaluating the success of CSR? So it is a possibility that we have done something for the people, and we have not received the feedback from them. So how important is that feedback?
Yes. So if you see, feedback matters a lot, because without feedback, we don't know where we are going, where we are leading. So feedback is the most important and crucial part of this whole success story of CSR. So my experience is, when we do some projects, at the end of the day, we have these quarterly evaluations, monthly evaluation, depending on the projects. So I have a very little experience. I worked in one of the largest social sector, Care India. That was way back in 2000 and 2004 and 5. 2002 to 2004 somewhere. So I know that we used to get a lot of international funds, and at the end of the day, getting funds were very easy. But then we used to have a lot of reviews, where we spend money, whether it makes sense, did we add value to the whole thing, whatever corporates wanted, because we were getting funds from them. So these feedbacks are very important, not only from the beneficiary, from the community, from the entire society. So because it reveals beneficiaries reveals whether they got a satisfaction and whether there's a long-term impact of the whole thing, and it tells you how the program is perceived and what value they create. So I think this feedback is very important, and this can be done through periodic surveys. If you see stories and a lot of case documentation, we used to take a lot of trainees whose job was to do case studies after the CSR is done, and understanding and listening to the beneficiary, where we missed, what should have been done better, or whether we are on track or not, because it motivates you also at the end of the day when you get some kind of a positive feedback. So getting information from local NGOs and facilitators who help in, we used to get a lot of inputs from these local NGOs that how it has impacted, or how what kind of information they have. So because they are technically qualified, I'm not a CSR guy. Means we can just spend money, we can. But then at the end of the day, the NGOs they have a technical knowledge. They can tell you whether it makes sense to continue with this project, or how we can better improve. So I think this is the reason why feedback is very, very important and crucial part of making the success of this CSR.
Right, sir. You're not a CSR guy, yet contributing so much. I think deep down inside, we should all be a lot of the CSR people, so that we can contribute in whatever way to the people who we feel that are not that much fortunate as we are, wherever we are standing today. And of course, as I understand that feedback is a crucial part of everything. It is good to know that you have worked with Care also long time back, for some years, for 2 years or 3 years, I guess. But then you very rightly said that periodic surveys and can be done. We should take the feedback from the beneficiaries, and of course to streamline that, we can hire some trainees also. The organizations can also hire some trainees, so that we can get proper feedback from them, so that we can build upon them. Just like the organizations take the feedback from their clients, we should take, or the organizations who are actually into the CSR, they take feedback from the beneficiaries, so that they are able to serve them better. Thank you so much, sir. So let's move to the next question on this. How do you think that corporates and NGOs work together to create the shared matrix that reflect both business value and, of course, the social change?
Okay. So if you look at how corporates and NGOs can work together, as you know, corporates are they can design, they can not design exactly. They are ready with the infrastructure, they are ready with the money, they are ready with the resources. That is how they can help, because they are not masters in getting the social.
Sir, I think your internet stopped. It got frozen. Miss Archana, can you hear me? I think there's some technical issue. I think some internet issue. Is it on my end, or it is on sir's end?
I think there was some issue. I think
yes, you're back now. Yes.
Yeah, is it okay now?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. So sorry for this. I think there was some internet issue at my end.
Problem, sir.
Not a problem. So yeah, we were talking about how corporate and NGOs can work
Can
together
work
and
together to create
partnership.
a shared matrix and
Yes.
reflect both business value.
Yes. So I personally feel, as I said, it's a joint effort. So corporates have resources, they have money, they have everything except the technical part which NGOs have. Even within whatever CSR activities we are doing, every NGO has strength in some part of it. Some are working on education projects, some are working on infrastructure projects, some are working on health projects, some are. So we need to choose which what we want at the end of the day. And the corporates, like for example, we are doing a CSR right now in a place called Palwal, which is part of Haryana in the border of UP. So we took an infrastructure project on education. We said we want to build schools, not build actually. We want to give a good infrastructure to the government schools, because as you know, the government schools are infrastructure is not that great. So what we held was we gave them all resources. We engaged NGO. We did it through one of the India's biggest social organization. I don't. So along with the partnership, because they know what should be done. So we had joint meetings. We had because we said it should be a joint success. So we put certain indicators on that also, and we aligned our vision with what they do. So there were multiple meetings. So that kind of a partnership is required. When you work with the social sectors, NGOs, because corporates can give you, as I said, they can give you everything except the technical thing. So that is where the partnership works, and that is the time where we spend a lot of time on selecting the right person for the right project. So I think that kind of a partnership is required, 100% required. Without that, we cannot have a success story.
Absolutely correct, sir. Very nicely said that, of course, the corporates are ready. Most of the corporates are ready with the resources and the infrastructure and, of course, the funds. But, of course, what they need is they need some kind of direction, of course, and they also need to choose that which area to contribute. And then, of course, they can contribute in their desired area. And, of course, that will be even better for them, for the beneficiaries also, and for them also to contribute. The good part is... Yes.
Sorry. So
no,
in
please
today's,
carry on,
in today's corporate, if you see, they also have their own benefit, because as you know, after this 2% of profits they have to share. But so that is where the role of corporate is, to ensure that they are complying. So they have their own self-interest. They are complying, they are benchmarking with and comparing with the peer industries, because in the investors relation, this is required. So we have a self-interest where we do internal monitoring and evaluation. We have a purpose to that, and obviously you have compliance is a big part. Then you have balance sheets, and you have to put everything on a balance. So I'm saying that the corporate role is to ensure that whenever they are funding, they are also keeping a track of what from the compliance point of view it is required. So they have their own self-interest also. No doubt there are now good part is a lot of transparency and accountability in the corporates are coming, because figures are reflecting in the balance sheet, and they also feel that their balance sheet becomes strong the moment they put this kind of funds under the CSR benefit. And it helps in building a good relations with the investors as well, because when they see your balance sheet. So like NGOs are working on making a good impact. On the other side, the corporates also have their own. I'm very blunt on saying that they have their own self-interest, because you have a buyer's audit, you have a customer's audit, you have financial reportings. So, but then at the end of the day, community is getting benefit out of it. So I think that matters a lot. So.
Of course, I understand that it is a part of a bigger plan. Of course, the organizations, the entire world, the country is moving towards that direction, and that is why this thing is also coming from the government or from the top authorities of our country, that we have to maybe use 2% of our profit for the CSR activities. And of course, and it is not only in India, but it is happening around the world. So all the good countries are doing it.
Right.
Of course, so this will definitely benefit them also, and it is a kind of it is going to be a kind of win-win situation for all of us. So very rightly said, sir.
Thanks.
So moving forward, sir, there are many CSR projects that look impactful initially, but they fade over a period of time. Just like many other projects that happen in different organizations, initially everybody starts with a lot of zeal, a lot of enthusiasm, but they at times few projects actually long last, but few projects they just fade. And what do you say, that they die their own natural death? So what do you think, that what parameters should be included to ensure that impact is sustainable for a long lasting time?
Right. So I remember one word, like Modi ji has said, Atmanirbhar,
Yes.
So project should be, I know that every project cannot be Atmanirbhar kind of a thing, but I think the flow of the project or the vision of the project should be that once the project is done, it should be on a self-funding mode. I know very selected projects have these kind of things. Now, how we think, because in corporate, we think that after you spend some money, resources, whatever, it should come in a self-funding. So similarly, when it comes to some kind of a CSR project, we feel that it should be after a certain time, because corporates cannot continue lifelong giving that support to one particular project. So obviously sustainability in CSR comes from designing, how you design that and build that capacity. Not only dependency on the corporates or any particular organization. So I think short-term visibility is easy to achieve, but lasting impact requires long-term planning, and community participation is must, because unless and you don't involve the community, it is not going to sustain. And there has to be a continuous evaluation of the project. So obviously when you look at I look at in our company, like we did one or two projects in such a way that after that we handed over to the community, maybe the local panchayats and the local communities, that this guys, we have done this, now it is up to you now. Yes, there will be a help, but we cannot fund every time, you cannot leave it and again. So again, when you look at these kind of sustainability projects, there's first of all you have to look at how the model is designed and can be adopted and expanded, that empowers the people who are part of this project. So periodic monitoring is required, I feel, and periodic feedbacks are required, and this integration with business and environment is required, because aligning CSR goals with sustainable business practices and this what do you call ecological responsibility for long-term viability. Sorry. So true CSR, I personally feel, is when the initiatives continues to grow without external support. So as I said, it should be in a sustainable this thing. So and that can only happen when community become part of the whole project. And then, because the sustainability is a responsibility of the community. It cannot be every time corporates coming and doing it. So I think that ownership matters a lot. Community ownership. I'll focus this word on community ownership in this thing, so that it can sustain for long. And so this is how we can ensure. I know saying is very easy, but when you go to the field, when you look at the projects after a few months or after a few years, if the plan was not clear initially, when you launch the project, so and if the accountabilities were not fixed, if the responsibilities were not fixed, if the community was not taken into confidence, then sustainment becomes a problem every time. So it is always better, like for example, as I already said, when you do some projects in gram panchayats, so we always tell them that the panchayat or mukhia or whatever have to take this kind of responsibility. Even there's a change in the position, even there's a change in the person, whatever, so somewhere they have to contribute. But only thing, you have to do a review, maybe after a year or so, you have some small meeting with the community, ask them that where are we now, what kind of resources they want. But I personally feel that since we have to focus now on other projects, we can just make them sit, review, and put the accountability and share whatever best resources you can give them to ensure that these projects are sustained. So this is, I feel, I know I may not be the right person to talk on this, but then this is what I personally feel, because unless until there's no personal trust, there's no accountability. I think the question comes on the accountability, whether it's corporate or whether in these kind of projects. So, so like for example, I can give one example which we did in Palwel. So after we finished the project, in the inauguration ceremony, we involved all the old panchayat, ex-panchayat people. They had this pagdi ceremony and all that, and there we made a commitment. There we took a some kind of a oath saying that, guys, we are done with it. Now it is your responsibility. It is in your shoulder now. So I think putting that kind of a accountability in front of the entire community brings some kind of change and responsibility on the others. So these are very small things we can do it. I'm not talking about very big things, but yeah, these kind of continuous communication and dialogues will help to sustain the project.
Right, Mr. Negi. So I must tell you that you're just the right person we are talking to. Please don't think that you're not the right person. You're absolutely the right person, and you are adding a lot of value over here. And of course, you very rightly said it can be put in a different kind of words that give someone a fish and he will satisfy his hunger on that particular day, and teach him how to catch a fish, and it will be for a longer time. So of course, as you said, that Atmanirbharta is required when a project becomes Atmanirbhar. Of course, the probability of success and sustainability becomes higher. So that's absolutely, that's bang on, sir. And of course, this should be there in most of the projects. And of course, as you said, that community ownership, periodic reviews are going to be helpful. And the last thing that you have said, the oath thing, that was really good. I think that works a lot better in our country, of course, in other countries also. But this oath taking ceremony in that particular get together, that was a very, very important thing, and that must be really, really impactful. So that's very nicely said, sir.
Thanks.
So that brings us to the last question. So as of now, everybody's talking about AI. AI is, of course, artificial intelligence. So with the rise of artificial intelligence and, of course, digital tools, how do you think that technology can help in tracking, verifying, and showcasing the real CSR impact transparently?
Yeah. So like in corporates, we are, the business works on numbers. And these days, every department has a business analyst, who gives you a real picture about where are we, what are the targets, how much we have achieved, what resources required, are we far from our targets, or are we up to the targets, or whatever. So everything comes with the numbers. So with AI coming into picture, obviously it's become very, very easy to get instant input, not only of that project, related to that project, how their performance, how these kind of projects have performed locally, globally, whatever, So I think AI is a tool where I don't have to say much because everyone knows about it, that you get every data within seconds. So AI is surely helping business, but CSR as well. Because CSR, today, if I want to know what kind of, for example, I need, let's say I'm doing a project on very specific, very niche project. Let's say I'm doing a project on AIDS, for example, HIV. Now, getting specialists, getting numbers, getting impacted people, whatever, it's very difficult. But through AI, I can easily come across, I can easily access a lot of information through that. Who are the specialists who can help me in leading these kind of projects? Because what kind of education is required, what kind of experience is required, what kind of relationship management with the different communities are required. So I think AI is it is transforming. It's like it's a technology is transforming the way CSR impact is tracked and communicated. So with this AI and data analyst, whatever, and digital platforms, this is giving you instant informations, and it is saving a lot of our time actually, because I remember 20 years back, we used to spend a lot of time and efforts to First of all, for example, I'll tell you my story. Like I was looking after HR only. My profile is so getting those kind of project leaders. Like we were doing multiple projects for truckers, for HIV, for education, for so getting these kind of researchers was very, very difficult, because that time even the Naukris and all they were not very much focused on these kind of profiles. But today, getting those kind of profiles are very easy. Getting those kind of figures are very easy. So I think AI is helping. It gives you a visual dashboard where everything at a glance you can see. You can easily see the numbers, and so I think it has a very large role in cost saving and getting the right picture, right data. So I think that is why I personally feel that these digital dashboards are helping us a lot and saving a lot of our time, of our promoters, of our directors, of our CSR team to sit across and just check the numbers and plan the projects. So I think it has a very, very, very helpful tool. Very, very.